Here's a diesel generator picked up for $350. Needs a little work. Does run, and it makes electricity. Looks like it needs some new tires. I think I can get the non-pneumatics type of tire. These are air type air up. I'm gonna get some hard tires for it probably. So this generator says 7,500 watt. Well, actually, it's not 7,500 watts. If you look it up, it's 6,800 watts. I guess that's just a 7,500, the model number. It's got 120 and 240 circuits. Here's the board. So you got electric start. At one time there was a pull start on here. I'm not really going to use the pull start anyway. But it's a diesel, I believe it's like a 10 horsepower diesel engine on here, which is, it's like a Yanmar copy of a Yanmar engine, but made in China. This whole Titan diesel is all the Titans were made in China. So it's got a few things here. You got electric start. It's got a voltage meter, hour meter. Look at the hours on that. Not too many hours for $350. A circuit breaker on there, which I flip that off whenever you're not running it. Disconnect your loads and then turn it off. It's got two 20 amp circuits on it, 120 volt. I tested those and it's putting out about 110 volts. So it says 120 here, but it's only putting out 110. So I'm not sure if it needs a little work there electronically. Obviously needs a new outlet there. I did plug into that, and it does, electricity comes out of it. It's got a twist lock, 25 amp. That's 120. I'm not sure what that is used for. Not RV, I don't think, because I've got a 30 amp RV plug on the wall here. That there is a 30 amp, 110 volt for like connecting to an RV. And you also got this 20 amp twist lock for 240. I thought it had 40. I believe it puts out 40 amps for 220 altogether, unless it's when you add these up. Like these are 20 amps a piece, so you could put 20 amps on either one of these and it'll pull 40 amps. And it has a switch here for 120 volt. That's these here, and then I guess you put the middle. I'm guessing that's one of these. It does say AC 120 volt or 240 on this plug here. I'm not sure exactly how that works. I guess there's two hots here, and this up here is, I guess if you have a plug that disconnects these two hots, and then that, it's 240. And so I have no idea how that actually works, but it's a 20 amp receptacle, and that says 125 volt, 250 volt, but then here it says 240 volts. So I'm not sure about that either, exactly how that works. But you can download the, if you get one of these generators from Titan, you can go on the internet and download the manual for it. It has everything in there, including troubleshooting. It has a schematic of all the electronics. It doesn't have any electronics really, it's just electrical. It has a complete electrical circuit, so you can trace out all these, everything where the flow of power goes, how it comes out of the generator from the alternator, through the switch, through here, through the hour meter, etc. And 240 there. But I was thinking if we had a power outage, I could still power the well off of this. Since it's 240, I'll have to get that type of plug or I could install a different type of plug in there maybe. But it also has 12-volt charging on these two here, and there's your grounding plug if you want to run a grounding rod into that, which I recommend. This type of generator, I'm not sure if it has a floating neutral. I don't know what you'd call it, but they recommend in the manual to run a grounding rod to this, so there's no chance of you touching the frame. If it does short to the frame, you could get electrocuted if you don't have that grounding rod in. So if that's a floating neutral or not, I'm not sure how that works. And as far as running it, you flip that on to run, come up here, release the compression. Before you start it, you're supposed to push that down, that lever there, to release the compression on the piston. And then just go ahead and crank it, which I'll do here. I'll put it on that, put it in run position. It also has a low oil shutdown protection, so if you're low on oil, it's kind of weird too about this. It's got a dipstick here on this end of the motor, right? And you run Rotella in here, 15W40. That's what they recommend. So you got a twin dipsticks. It's kind of weird. It's a dipstick on that side. Guessing this might be the drain for the oil. I think this is the oil sensor right here. So if it doesn't have oil pressure, or if it's low on oil, that shuts it down. So if it's not starting, you may have a problem with that. And then here's your air filter. It's got a sort of like automotive style air filter, pleated paper air filter with a foam element on it. There's some more fuses here. Not sure what this box is for, but I looked up a parts list, and you in the manual it tells you what that is. There's two fuses here. These are like a glass tube type fuse, like what they put in cars a long time ago. Here's your starter. Here's the exhaust port. It's very loud. Takes a lawnmower style battery, which got a nice, pretty good clamp here. It's kind of loosened up on me. I just took the battery out of our mower, put it in here. Check that. And it cranks over good. It's got motor mounts, kind of like a rubber motor mount, kind of heavy duty. All around, there's mounts, 4 of them like that. Those are available. It's got a fuel gauge here. You can see sort of like it's about halfway. It's hard to tell. It's a little, I'm going to take that off and clean the back of it. Here's the fuel filler. Nice big cap. It's got a strainer inside there. I think there's a filter inside the tank also. Towards the bottom of the tank, there's a filter. What else? You got a handle. It weighs about 280 pounds. This one does. So, I'll fire it up. It had a dead battery in it when I got it. So, I put the lawnmower battery in. So when you want to, this one you want to stop it. That's how you stop it. Here's how you start it. Hit run, hit that compression release button on the top there. And, oh yeah, this is the valve cover. What it said when you're looking for parts for one of these, there's a heart-shaped valve cover, which this one has. It's kind of heart-shaped. And there's a different shape one. I don't know what it was, a triangle or something. So, a few repairs I need to do. Tires. This recall, I'm not going to fix it. Probably put a new air filter in it. I put some diesel treat in there. And if you want to, this is the, I'd recommend this diesel treatment here. If you've got one of these generators and it's diesel, use some Opti-Lube or some sort of diesel additive. This will get rid of moisture. See, it lubricates your injector, improves the cetane, cleans your injector, gets rid of deposits, removes moisture, and it preserves the diesel. So that's some good stuff there. I use it in my truck, my tractor, everything that's diesel. So here's some other stuff on it here. This line here, the injector is right there. See, this is the line from the fuel tank. This is the injector line, high pressure line. I think this is the pump behind here. And then that goes up. I don't know if you can see it here. Right there's the line. I think that, yeah, the injector is actually behind this. Near the top of the head. So that line goes up here. And this is the pump. It probably runs off a cam. So it's mechanical injection. So let's crank it up. Up on 120. I got the power off. This to run. Crank it. I guess when you turn the key off, it sounded like it had some kind of solenoid that popped this. I think it's this here right here. Let's do that again. Let's start it up. And it looked like I heard a snapping noise when I turned the key off. I think this solenoid here pops and shoots out. Let's try it up and start up again. See how much smoke comes out here. When you first start them, they smoke a little bit. That's a heavy motor, let me tell you. Yeah, that's the way it works. So you turn the key off and it pops this little solenoid, knocks that linkage off and turns it to off. Now, when we started at the cellar, it had a totally dead battery flat, and it wouldn't do that. It wouldn't pop that out because the battery would not hold any charge at all. We boosted it with some booster cables and got it running, but it took quite a bit to get it going. It cranked over a little while. With a good battery in it, it cranks right up real easy. So, really good deal. And with only like 85 hours on it, I mean, it's not even hardly broke in, I don't think. From what I've looked up on the internet, portable diesel generators, they last about 20,000 hours. So this is going to go long, long time. Portable gasoline generator, a good one, 2,000 to 3,000 hours you'll get out of them. This is something that's going to last and last. Keep on going. As long as you can keep parts on it. Do some maintenance on it. One thing, I've done a little research. one thing to do if you have a diesel generator is to run it with a load on it. Do not run it without a load much if possible, just idling. It needs, because it's a diesel, it needs a load on it. So if you can run it once a month with a 50% load on it, your engine will last a lot longer. What'll happen is you'll start to see, this is something I read on the internet, you'll start to see some black greasy soot come out the muffler if you idle it too much. So you want to work diesel generator, you want to work it hard. What I have is, since I got it, I ran it with these two heaters on it, and they pull like 12 amps each, something like that. These little portable heaters. And so that's like 24 amps, something like 3,000, 2,800, something like that of watts. And it's rated for 6,000 running watts, 6,800 starting watts. So if you run it with two of these little heaters, you're about half load on it, maybe a little less, but that'll keep it running good. Do that, keep your fuel fresh. You'll have a long running diesel generator. I think I got a smoking deal on this, even though it does need work. I'm gonna change oil on it, and I'm gonna fix the tires. I think tires for this will be about, $30 to $50, depending on the tire you choose. What else? I don't think there's anything else it really needs. It needed a battery, tires, and that outlet's fixed, which I'm in the process of right now. That's what I'm working on. Taking all these little screws out. Okay. And then I can pull this panel out. I got a couple more screws to go. I'll show you what the back of the panel looks like when I get it out.